everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well as always. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. I'm feeling the love. I'm in the all pink. I mean, pink is my favourite colour anyway. But we're just feeling the cute girly vibes today. So I thought let's have a little sit down, chit chat with the girls. I'm really trying to stop myself from being like, today we're going to talk about this. Like, I really want to get to a place where I don't just tell you what we're going to talk about, we just talk about it. So let's get into it. On Sunday, I went to a run club with Jess and Taylor. If you follow me on TikTok, you would have already seen the vlog. It was so much fun. It was really nice. Me, Jess and Taylor have really got into running lately, which is so good for me because I literally cannot run on my own. So running with them two holds me accountable, and it actually helps me to actually complete a run because the amount of times I've tried to run on my own and it just doesn't work. So on Sunday we felt a bit snazzy and we went to a run club called Runners High, which is like a run club for slow runners basically, which is perfect for us. It was girls only, slow pace, and it was just good vibes. And this was on Sunday at 11 a.m. So we had to be up and on our way by like sort of 9ish to get to Hyde Park where it was. And we were talking about the fact that we're literally 25 and spending our Sundays going to a run club, and that's like so exciting for us. Whereas if you looked at us like even last year, probably that would have been like hell. We would have been hungover, in bed, feeling disgusting, which, don't get me wrong, the weekend before that, which I did vlog, definitely felt like that. Hence why there was no Sunday to that weekend vlog, because I was not in a good place. I went to brunch and then I went to a house party and I was dead. And we were just talking about how it's so different now. Like, I think post-COVID, I said anyway, I think post-COVID, people have changed so much, like in the younger generation. And I'm not saying like no one drinks anymore, because like they absolutely do. And like I said the weekend before, I'd absolutely had like a dirty weekend. But I've noticed so much more younger people being more about like health and fitness and looking after themselves a bit more. We were just saying how noticeable it is. Like, so many people that we know have cut down going out drinking and going on crazy nights out, raving, all of that. Like, they've cut down so much on it. And again, so many people still are, and so many of those people still do, but they've just cut back on it. Like, not saying everyone's completely stopped, like that's definitely not the case, but I feel like ever since COVID, people have become so much more mindful of it. I don't know if it's because like COVID like kickstarted a lot of people's fitness side of things, like that's all we really had to do, or if people just realised the value of staying home. I don't know, I feel like so many of us were like, can't wait for COVID to be over, I'm gonna go out and go crazy. And then actually when we sort of recovered from COVID, it was like, staying at home's not too bad. I don't know if it's because like so many places shut down. Like, I know in our local area there's like nowhere to go. There's this one nightclub in our local area, I'm gonna say the name because if you're from the area you'll know. Attic. It used to be Zen's, but it's now Attic. Well, was, I guess it's shutting down. Is now closing down. Now, I haven't been there since I was at the oldest 18, because it was one of those nightclubs you used to be able to get in with a fake ID. Like, I used to go with my sister's ID. She was literally, so if I was 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, she was 21 and I was 17 and I was using her ID. I did not look 21. I didn't even really look like my sister, but it was an ID and it got me in. It was one of those nightclubs. It was like really cheap, really cheesy. It's like pretty local. It doesn't take me long to get there. And that is now closing down. And me and the girls were saying, I've not been there in years and I wouldn't go there again because it is one of those clubs that really young people go to. But we're saying how sad that like the younger generation aren't going to experience Zens. It's literally called Attic, but still, it used to be Zen's and it will forever be Zen's. And then during COVID, another nightclub in the local area. Now, if your local area is where Zen's is, you're going to hear this club name and be like, that's not the local area. But I very much live in between both. Venue. Oh my God. Venue closed down during COVID, which makes sense because obviously nothing was really going on. However, venue has been around for years. Like, I used to work with people in their like late 30s, hitting early 40s, that have been to venue years and years ago, like my sort of age. I didn't realise how long venue had been around for. And when I heard that was closing down during COVID, I was genuinely so upset. Like, when I was 18, I used to go there like every weekend, every Saturday. I would be in venue, me and the girls, like without fail. We were always in venue and we loved it because you'd see like the same people, but then you meet new people and you used to get cheap drinks, and girls used to get in first. Girls used to get in free before a certain time, and after a certain time it was a fiver, whereas boys always had to pay like £8 or something. And then after a certain time, I think it went up to 12. Like, it was great. I remember one time I went to venue and I got there and I didn't have my ID, and I was like, no, because they always did ID checks. But what they did this one time, which they had done a few times, and I was hopeful this would be the case, is they literally looked at the queue and they went, girls, just come down, girls. And they just let all the girls in the queue in and made all the boys queue up to have their ID checks. And I remember I went up to one of the bouncers and I was like, I promise you see me all the time. Like, I come here every weekend. You know who I am. I don't have my ID. And he was like, just join the queue and see if they'll let you in. And literally they were like, girls, come down. And I was like, yes, get in. So, I mean, not very, 2024 friendly, but when it helps a girl out, I will absolutely take it. The feminism left my body in that moment because I got in without having my ID. But we were just saying, in our local area, where are the young people going these days? Because all the good clubs have shut down. And I think that, well, it is an effect of COVID, I think, anyway. I don't know about Attic because that's been open for a long time since COVID, but I think a lot of places have struggled to recover. And then all it leaves you is like going uptown, which means you have to get the train home. And I live in pretty much southeast London, so it's not exactly awful getting home, but it's not as fun as just, or easy as jumping in a cab for 10 minutes down the road and then getting home. Like, their options are minimal. So I don't know if that's another factor of why people have cut down on how much they're drinking and going out or what, but I have noticed so many people have cut it down. Now, I have tried my best to cut down drinking, and I really have. So probably like since I was like 22, maybe 23, I don't know. I've really tried to cut down drinking, and there's a couple different elements to it for me. One smaller element is it helps with weight loss. I'm trying to lose weight. I have been for a long time, but I'm in my best place in my weight loss right now. And I know that really helps when I don't go out drinking like crazy, just because the next day I will feel so awful and I don't move my body and I eat like crap. So it's more like the domino effect of it. But the biggest reason I have cut down on drinking is because I get such awful hangxiety. And I know a lot of people do. So I think that is another factor of why people have cut down drinking, because the anxiety for me is literally crippling. It seriously ruins a night out for me. Like, it will tarnish it so badly. And 9 times out of 10, I haven't even done anything. But I am so convinced that everyone hates me, that I've spoken too much, that I can't even explain it. It makes no sense. Like, I've said this in another video before. I'm not a confrontational person. I'm not an argumentative person. I'm not a nasty person. You would think that I am, the way that I feel after having been on a night out. But I know this is common. Like, Jess and Taylor always send me TikToks of this, of other people talking about it, because luckily other people feel the same and I'm not just a massive weirdo. I've got vlogs, like the last vlog I posted when I went out for brunch and then I went to Taylor's sister's birthday. I was drinking for about 12 hours. I had such a good time. The brunch was really lovely. It was really nice. It was quite civilized, if anything. Like, it was such a nice time. Came home, got changed, went out, had a really lovely time. Like, met all Taylor's family, met Taylor's new boyfriend. Like, it was a really nice evening, had so much fun with the girls, like, laughed loads as always. Why did I wake up the next day feeling like I had stabbed someone or something? Like, I literally was like, oh my God, I can never leave the house again. That's not okay. And I didn't even do anything. Like, It's so stupid. It's like, it's one thing being embarrassed if I'm saying embarrassing stuff, which, we all do when we're drunk. We get a bit loose with it. We start sharing things that we wouldn't normally share. That's one thing, feeling a bit embarrassed. Like, oh God, what did I say that for? No, mine will literally bring like a pain in my chest. It will send shivers down my spine. And all I'm doing is remembering a conversation, which is a very normal conversation. Like, again, I'm not slagging anyone off. I'm not like threatening anyone. Like, it's nothing bad. But I'm like, oh, why did I say that? Why did I share too much? And it will literally be like, I don't even know. One of the things I shared to Jess, which I'm happy to share online, one of the things I shared to Jess is she came in the toilet with me, and I was like, I hate when someone comes in the toilet with me because I like to stand when I wipe. And actually, now it's coming out. I don't know why I'm sharing this on the internet, but it's fine. I was like, and I feel like everyone likes to sit down and wipe, and I'm not a sit down wiper. I like to stand up and wipe. I'm just talking about when I wee, by the way. Can I just clarify? I did not go for a number 2 with Jessica in the toilet with me. But that's the kind of thing where the next day I'll go, oh, why did I say that? When Jess was literally like, no, get you, like, whatever, da da da. But like the next day I'm like, oh, why did I say that? I'm so annoying. Like, honestly, I can't explain it. It's such a weird thing. Like, your mind will play these tricks. And I think people have told me, I'm not the most intelligent, so don't get me to just explain the scientifics behind it, but a lot of people have told me about how alcohol brings you so high and like the sugar and everything. It's like rush, 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 and then you sort of crash the next day. And I think that is it for me. Like, I have so much fun. I have such a good time. Like, I'm loving it. I'm laughing so much. My chest will hurt. Like, I'm having a great time. And the next day I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh, you were too loud. You were too much. You were too annoying. Like, and it's so horrible. And if anyone else I knew felt like that, I would be like, you are so silly. Like, you were amazing. Like, so reassuring. And my friends are, by the way. But it's annoying that I can see that and say it to other people, but I can't see it and say it for myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so frustrating. So that's a massive part of why I've cut down drinking, because the anxiety is too much, and it will last all throughout the week. Like, I'll be driving somewhere and I'll just think like, oh, like I'll have like a flashback. Honestly, you'd think it's like PTSD, like I've been like at war or something. Like, God forbid, I can't even handle having a few pink gins. It's really a problem. But like I say, other people struggle with this as well. So I think it is like a really off-putting factor. And it's got to the point now where for me, it used to always be if I'd like drunk loads or if I'd like been, yeah, like on a binge or something. But now I can have like 3 drinks and still feel it the next day. Even if I'm not thinking, like, oh, why did I say that? I just feel like anxious, and it's really not fun. And it's genuinely made me think about sobriety more than one time. And I think my girls are sick of hearing me say it. Every time I'm hungover, I'm like, I'm never drinking again. But I like fully convince myself, I'm like, I cannot, like, I cannot drink again. This is not okay to feel like this. It's that off-putting that I'm like, I can't put myself through this. But I always go back, and I don't feel like I have a problem. Like, I could definitely do an event or a party or whatever sober and be fine. And I have done so many times. I've driven somewhere just to make sure that I don't drink or anything like that. But sometimes I genuinely fancy having like, I like a pink gin, I like a sweet drink, I like that, a cocktail, something. I'm like, oh, fancy that. And then once you get a taste, you're like, oh, a few more, and then next thing you know, you're drunk. Like, so it's hard, because part of me is like, I would love to go sober and do sobriety. Like, I know people that have done like a year sober. I know people that have done a year sober and then actually carried it on and now are always sober. Like, and that sounds amazing and sounds like something I would genuinely love to do, but there's almost like too much pressure on it, because I'm like, well, I kind of fancy a cocktail because I like the taste. I like a drink. Like, I'm not someone, I don't drink at home. I only drink when I go out. And for me at the moment, I only drink like at maximum every other weekend. Even that, not really. Like, we're in February, we're halfway through February, and I've only had 3 occasions where I've had a drink. No, 2, because I broke dry January. Well, I didn't break it. I finished dry January. It's my first drink after dry January in that vlog, and that was the start of February. And then I went for a drink with Bill on Friday to the pub, and that was it. So I've only had 2 occasions in this year so far, and we're midway through February where I've drunk. Now, I know in summer that will probably pick up a bit more, go to beer gardens and stuff like that. But I think what works for me a lot better, rather than being like sobriety, cutting it off, and like all this pressure, is to just actually say, just cut back, and that's what's worked best for me. So as much as I would love to do sobriety, there's almost like too much pressure on it. Like I would hate to say, oh, I'm going sober fully to people, and then like go, oh, would you fancy a little Aperol? Do you know what I mean? Like you only want one. Like what's the end of the world? Do you know what I mean? So for me, I like to just cut back on how much I'm drinking, and I feel so much better for it. Like my anxiety is so much better. I feel healthier because, like I say, it's a knock-on effect. So in the week, I'll be anxious and will just want to lay in bed, and like I'll still go to the gym and stuff, but I won't eat properly. I won't eat fully. I'll feel really bad about myself. I'll talk really badly about myself to myself. Like I just get so negative when I go through those states. So yeah, the thing for me is like just cutting back on it makes everything better for me. I feel happier, I feel healthier. It's just annoying because as well, it doesn't always happen. It's really weird. Like if I go out crazy and have a big party weekend or whatever, I know I'm probably going to get a bit of anxiety. But like I said, I've had a couple times where I've had 1 or 2 drinks and I still feel anxious after, even though I'm not like hungover. But I've also done that and felt absolutely fine. So it's really hit or miss. It's a really difficult one. But I think it's such a huge factor on why people have cut down drinking. It's so noticeable now. Like so many more people are into go like, you know, feeling fresh on a Sunday morning, going for walks, going for runs and all of that. And I think it's nice. I think it's good. We as a generation are just slaying the day. Yeah, let me know if you deal with anxiety and how you deal with it, or if you have anxiety, how you manage it if you know you're going out and stuff, because I've not quite cracked that yet. Like I said, it's a bit unpredictable for me now. But anxiety, man, it's a bitch. That brings us to the end of today's video, talking a bit about drinking culture in our generation, in our 20s, and anxiety, how you manage it, all that stuff. Let me know in the comments what you think, what your thoughts are listening to this. And again, if you have anxiety, how the hell you manage it, because I could do for all the tips. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.